Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I would like to introduce myself. I am Jess. I'm a professional life coach. I have been working with men and women since 2020, and I continue to work primarily with men. This is something that has just happened by accident, and I believe that the work that I do with men is really powerful in that we look at the thinking and beliefs that he has about himself. And so he can see how the thinking that he has about himself has shaped and continues to shape his experiences. So his thinking around money, his thinking around women and love and dating, his thinking around health, and primarily the thinking that he has about himself. Because the thinking that you have about yourself as a man or a woman is what shapes your reality. It's what creates your experiences in life. I wanted to explain a little bit more about what I do is because with what I'm about to share with you, I see this all the time. This is not something cute that I've read in a book, which I know when people share content, it can often come from that place. I've witnessed this. And with the other things that I'm planning on sharing with you in the future, that also comes from that place as well. So the clue is in the title and what I've shared here. So with what I'm about to share here, I have seen how this makes you very attractive, very magnetizing to women. In life, what we see is people that are using, actually, let's be more specific, men that are using porn, men that are using drugs, men that are using alcohol, men that are using gambling. So things basically outside of themselves to numb themselves, to avoid feeling. Because that's one of the reasons that we as human beings partake in those things. Where you're feeling pain, you're feeling anxious. So you're feeling an unpleasant feeling that you don't want to experience. What's a really easy, quick way for you to change that feeling to a more pleasant feeling, a feeling, an experience that is more desirable to you? Porn, for example, using porn. That is immediately going to release endorphins into your brain, or in your brain. So you're going to feel good. You're going to feel excited, among other pleasant feelings. The same with drugs, the same with alcohol, the same with gambling, and anything else that you can think of. Excessive shopping, eating. The general premise, the simplicity of this is I don't like how I feel, so I'm going to change how I feel in this moment. Back to what makes you attractive and magnetizing as a man. Knowing and being aware that there are things like porn, there are things like drugs, there are things like alcohol, gambling, those things I just described. They very easily can alter your state, your emotional state, when you're feeling stressed, when you're perhaps feeling bored, when you have a challenge in your life. This is what we see all the time. I see this every single day. This is the reason that these things are in place. Now, what they're doing in that moment is they're providing you with a very temporary fix, a very temporary feeling that you're altering in that moment. We see this time and time again. Go back to the example because I really want to break this down for you. Not feeling so good, more specifically. So it's easy for you, and again, this is something that I'm going to be talking about more specifically. Let's use the example of porn because there's so much I can say here. In the example of porn, when you're not feeling, many men have told me what is their trigger for them to then consume pornographic material is stress and boredom. Two feelings that I see as a theme that men tell me that they're experiencing, which then makes them reach for the material. Feelings that they then experience are joy and a good feeling. So it makes complete sense. It's so innocent once you see it this way. Now, the reason that it makes you powerful and magnetizing is knowing that those things are available to you. And it's the same for women. Often it can be shopping, often it can be overeating, often it can be, of course, drugs and alcohol. But what I typically see is that it's nowadays for men, it's more porn and it's more drugs and it's more alcohol. And of course it can be other things, but these are the three things that I see specifically for men. The reason that it makes you magnetizing and attractive is because she unconsciously or consciously, depends on where she's at on her levels of consciousness, she knows that. Because it's the same for her, because she's a human being. In that she knows that it's very easy that if she is in a unpleasant feeling, a feeling that she doesn't want to experience, it's very easy for her to go, I don't know, on a shopping website and just spend thousands of pounds on a brand new wardrobe or makeup or whatever. It's temporary, because then what do you come back to? Back to the part around it being attractive and magnetizing for her. As I said, she knows that it's easy for her to do that. So what are you showing to her when you are not choosing to press the button of consuming porn, consuming excess alcohol, drugs, gambling? It shows that you're a man that has discipline. It shows that you're a man that is, in essence, has power over his emotional state. If you were able to do that as a man, holy shit, this is why it's so attractive and so powerful and magnetizing to any woman. By men that are grounded, that have things in front of them, say that they have a woman that is half dressed in front of him and is still able to see it, but isn't going to act on his desires in that moment, is so desirable. Because he is, not in a literal way, but he's communicating to her, I have this desire, but I'm still not going to do anything about it. It doesn't matter. So what? I feel this sexual, lustful energy within me. So what? Who cares? I'm still not going to pursue her because I'm grounded and I'm committed to my relationship. The woman that I've just described as an example, you can replace that with porn, you can replace that with drugs, you can replace that with alcohol and anything else that you're using to numb yourself, to change your emotional state, remember, because that's all you're doing. That's all that we're ever doing when we're doing that. That's why it makes you magnetizing and so attractive to a woman, because you're also showing her that you have authority over yourself, that you value yourself, you value your integrity and your personal power as a man to not choose to partake in temporary desires. Because remember, those feelings are temporary. He knows the repercussions. He knows what's to come. You'll be wondering, how do I create more of that in my life? Well, by doing the inner work, by becoming more aware of your feelings, becoming more aware of your triggers. Because what I see and what I see in the world is more men that are experiencing feelings of desire for anything. It's just desire to change their state. So they're feeling bored, they're feeling anxious, they're feeling in pain, and they're just choosing to use these things outside of themselves to numb themselves. You don't want to be doing that. You want to be aware of the fact that what you're experiencing, what you're feeling in that moment is temporary. Just like everything is temporary. And once you're ready to see that, then you become more powerful. And, the thing is, guys, is put women to the side for the moment, actually. Because you become more confident, more at peace, more grounded in who you are as a man, because you're not a slave to your desires. If you are a slave to your desires, to what you feel, to your sexual energy, to your energy to want to go excess gambling, drugs, alcohol, all of those things, then you are living a very low quality life. You're not living in a high quality way. you're really disempowering yourself. You're not living from your power at all. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. As I said, there's so much more I can share to this, but I want to keep this as brief as possible. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.